on the Tim Marner Podcast Show today, on the 50th episode of the Tim Marner Podcast. We've got my mum. Now, before we start, in fact, do you know what a podcast is?
Only that I believe it's just people chatting to each other.
So, a couple of days ago, I put some questions onto Instagram. Does anybody got any questions to ask my mum? The first one is, I believe you've got two sons. Which one is your favourite? And that comes from Big T69.
Big T69?
Yeah.
That could be Tim. Who's probably thinking he's number one, which I usually say he's number one because you're my firstborn. But when you're not there, I tell Tez that he's number one.
I thought you might do. Tell me the story. You're going to hate me for this. When you got kidnapped.
Oh, God.
Come on, Mum.
You should have never found that cutting, should you?
Come on. Tell me what you were doing.
Well, I was at a fashion show. And I was in the fashion show. And we were modelling furs at the time. Obviously, it was okay to do it. So we were all there, up and down the catwalk in this nightclub. And it finished. And then photo shoot afterwards, so that we were on the side. And then someone said, we're going to take photographs in the entrance. So I went down to the entrance. I'd got this, I think it was £4,000 at the time.
The fur coat?
Yeah. And so I went with the photographer, as I thought, down to the entrance. And then suddenly they grabbed hold of me and ran outside and opened this door of this jag and threw me in and got in with me. Well, you can imagine I'm absolutely terrified. And I tried to make a joke of it. Typically me, just trying to make a joke and hopefully that... And anyway, they said, not to worry, it's only a publicity stunt. But I didn't know whether it was stunt? Eventually, after much time at police station...
Where did they take you?
They took me to someone's flat, quite a really nice flat actually, an apartment really, they called it. Beautiful paintings on it all, and lots of people all around and all chatting and saying, we're sorry about this, and you know. And then they said to me, but we're going to have to tie you up anyway. So I said, tie me up, why? Well, the thing is, what we're going to do is tie you up and then we're going to take you to the furrier's house and throw you in the garden. And then telephone him to say what we've done. You're lying there in the dirt, in your beautiful mink coat. I said, I don't think he's going to be really pleased about that. Apart from myself, I'm not pleased being tied up because I don't know whether you're telling the truth or not.
How old were you at this time?
Let me see.
Early 20s or something?
Yes, just on the cusp of being 20.
Right.
Yeah, between jobs.
And how long did they tie you up for? A couple of hours, few hours, and then threw you to garden?
Yes, I was with them for a few hours.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't in the garden long. The furrier did come out, quite quickly.
Have you always wanted to be a model and a dancer?
A dancer.
I know we've touched on stuff before, haven't we? But
very little, really.
Because back in the day, modelling and dancing seemed it was a bit of a pirate thing to do, weren't it, back in the day?
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Were you getting people just like looking at you all like, who the hell's this?
Yeah, they always thought I was different, and really all I wanted to do was to dance.
Yeah.
And the thing, and I went to this little dancing school in Oldham.
Yeah.
And she was lovely. It was at Billington's.
Right, okay.
Which was really a really good ballroom dancing academy. But they had this one lady that taught ballet, tap, and she took us through our exams, and we had examinations to pass and all the rest of it. Anyway, when it came about 16, and she said she'd heard of this ballet school in London that she thought just might suit me and my family.
Did you love it, Mum, ballet? Just like that, it was your purpose, it was your everything?
Not just ballet, just dance.
Right.
Any kind. Any kind.
What was it? What was it about dance that...
I don't know, it was just something in me, just the music and because all three of us, my two sisters, they also came.
Yeah.
Well, the little one, not too much later, but my closest sister used to come, and she said it was a waste of time. She didn't want to go. It's all sorts of things that you would say, really find the right words for.
The cutting words.
Yes.
So from...
But it was just, I just wanted to do it, and I'd go to class every day if I could.
So that's just love of something, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yes.
And you found that right from an early age, that love of it?
Yeah.
So going from Billington's to going to London, what was that transition from you? Because the one that you went in London was really, weren't it, top ballet school?
It was only only a small school.
Yeah.
But it was very strict.
Yeah.
Boarding school, obviously.
Yeah.
And I was there for 4 years.
Well, the school was renowned.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah.
Yes, it doesn't exist anymore because it was run only by a one lady who owned the building and everything with it.
So what happened when you finished there then?
What
was your first gig?
Well, unfortunately, I tore. Well, I thought I'd torn a muscle in my stomach, and it turned out to be appendicitis, which I carry on with the class. Opposite the building, the ballet school, there was a big hospital, just directly opposite. And I remember I thought I'd torn a muscle, and I thought, well, carry on, you always do. But it went worse and worse and worse until I collapsed. And they picked me up and carried me over, and I'd burst the appendix. So I was really quite ill, and I had to go and convalesce in Harlem. It was a new...
Harlem Street Doctors?
No, not Harley Street Doctors. Harlem Town.
Right, okay.
It was just being built. It was a new town.
Yeah.
So they had a convalescent home there, and I had to stay in a month. So what I'm leading up to is, because then was the time to go for auditions and places like that.
What was your big goal then as a ballerina?
Well, because I wasn't solely a ballerina. I wasn't a ballerina as such. I couldn't go and do Royal Ballet School or anything like that. I wasn't good enough like that. But I was very good in other modern jazz, that kind of contemporary type of work. I was more on that side than the actual ballerina type. So that's what we were looking for anyway at the time. Miss Bluebell of the Bluebell Girls was holding auditions in Manchester, but I'd only just had this big operation, and it wasn't just a normal appendix like now. you could go and within a week you can go back and you could be back at work. So I couldn't perform when I went for the audition, and Miss Bluebell herself was there, which was quite something. And she said, "It's a pity because I think you would be perfect to go to Las Vegas in this." She said, "But I need to see you move and I need to see you dancing." So she said, I can't offer you that without seeing you. It was Ken Dodd. Ken Dodd, do you know him?
Yeah.
Well, he was his show at the Palace, and that's where she was holding her audition.
Oh, wow.
So from there, obviously, she had me on a list, and she got me to have an audition with her agent in London. So I went and I got, he accepted me. So thrilled, sure. God,
Are you doing this all on your own, or is Grandad taking you?
Grandad took me to...
What was his look on you dancing? Because
Well...
Is he thinking, what the hell are you doing with your life? But but he's still taking you.
Well, you can remember his
Yeah.
demeanour. You can imagine. He was so strict.
Yeah.
He was so strict. We couldn't even go to have tea with anybody from school. Excuse me, but
He's
very dry.
Because he was so straight-laced and so, society's constraints. This is how you do it. Look, you get married, he gets it.
Nobody believed that
Yeah.
he'd let me go. They said, "How on earth is he going to let you go to?"
You've not muted your phone, have you? That's
no,
podcast
I
101.
that.
Absolutely.
That is really bad.
Unprofessional, that.
I'm awfully sorry.
Do you feel like we should
To
stop
let you
it, or do you
down.
want to just carry on ringing?
No, I'd rather I stopped it. If you don't.
It's fucking stopped now. A system? What do you mean a system? This is definitely being kept in. So come on, talk to me about Grandad a little bit. Just talk to me just how strict he was. Because in fact, let me tell you this story, because I don't think, I might have told you this story. I remember getting a taxi once, and the taxi driver told me that he named his daughter after you because of how amazing you were and such an inspiration. Did I ever told you that?
You haven't, but someone told me that. Yeah.
How do you feel about that when I say that to you?
Well, I just thought how nice. Well, what a nice thing to say.
Yeah, but why, Mum? Why would that's a big deal. That's someone that doesn't really know you. Do you want to talk about the book that's been written about you?
Which book?
The book been written about you. What's the girl called that wrote a book about you, about your experience and stuff?
Oh, do you mean Aileen's daughter?
Yes. How do you feel about that?
What?
Just nothing to you, just like, someone's calling the daughter after you, you're having a book written about you. Do you not just sit and just think to yourself, wow, what an amazing life you've had?
No.
Because you've been a big inspiration for me, kind of making my own path. You've definitely made your own path, haven't you?
Yes, I did.
Modelling dancing, just who does modelling and dancing? Listen, you should be working in a shop, or you should be a mother of what's it. You never chose that route.
No.
You kind of look, no, this is what I love doing and I'm going to choose to do it.
Once I'd been shown that I could do that, and I joined this company. I mean, we just went, luckily, we travelled all over Europe and then Scandinavia.
Yeah.
So I was really lucky, but I mean, by today's things, when I say I travelled over Europe, if somebody asked me, I think, God, it sounds so... it's nothing compared to what's going on today.
What do you mean?
I know, but, well, like you...
I mean,
like
it does
your
to you, but
reaction.
that's your perspective that you do in your mind.
Yeah.
You kind of like, you've still got this imposter syndrome thing going on in your head, where, you know, Mum, you like being in a dancing troupe, like you've modelled for Honda, you've danced at the Moulin Rouge.
Yes.
I'm just like...
I know...
Do you know what I mean? But you just pass it over, and to me, that's like, wow, what an inspiration you are. You know, the reason getting you on the podcast is being that inspiration for other young girls out there and stuff. But you don't see that. You just think... You focus on... You don't focus on anything. You don't kind of go, wow, dear.
No, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. But
I just love doing what I loved doing what I was doing. So if somebody saw that you can do that sort of thing, then obviously sometimes I'd chat to someone. Anybody would ask me, obviously, how it was done. I wrote to the ballet school and put forward names, you know, of young girls that parents came to, and a few of them went to the same school.
Talk to me about the Moulin Rouge. Talk to me about that era. Talk to me about that, because it's like, you know, for everybody else obviously they've seen the film. Do you want to talk about the film and the lead role, or do you want to?
No, it's not.
Right, okay.
It's not like that.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't like that.
You didn't like that film, did you?
Well, I didn't think she was good enough to do that film.
Come on, Mum. Now we're talking.
No, she didn't have enough
Yeah.
edge. Oh, you can't see my fingers.
You needed that though, didn't you? You needed that edge. That's you've got that, haven't you?
Oh, yes,
Is that
think
where I
did.
get it from? That edge.
I think so.
Like
I
rough
think
around
so.
the edges.
Whereas mine is not as vocal as yours.
Yeah.
Mine was in the dancing side. I mean, I loved it if it was contemporary and the Moulin Rouge. It's funny, I was only thinking about it the other day. Just one little snippet. And because the choreographer, he was French. Absolutely superb he was. But he was hard. You know, he was really strict. I'd never been away before to Paris, or in Paris, imagine. I thought it was absolutely wonderful in my head.
Yeah.
You know, pretending that, you know, I wasn't overawed by it all.
Yeah.
But
not the dark, seedy side that you're about to...
Well, yeah, it was a bit.
Yeah.
Because they had to keep me away from all the lesbians for some reason. I mean, at that side.
Why, because lesbians are attracted to you?
Totally.
Yeah, you've got that look, haven't you?
But they're all that great big bush. And we used to go outside the Moulin Rouge. We were in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
And two of the girls who'd been away several times before. And they could see they'd moved in on me. Three of them.
What do you mean they moved in on you?
Well, because suddenly they're at the table.
Yeah.
And they're chatting, aren't they? And I'm talking away as best I can. Yes, I do. And then one of the girls is like grabbing hold of my arm, pulling me away and telling me, no, you know, whispering, no, just keep away, stay with us, don't be drawn into conversation over there. And I soon learned that, they'd got this thing.
What were drugs like back in there? Was it rife with drugs?
No.
It wasn't?
No.
Did you ever take it? Have you ever taken a drug?
No.
No drugs at all?
Never.
Nothing?
Nothing, Del. I've told you that before. It's absolutely true. The only time...
Has it been offered to you?
Well, I'm just going to tell you, the only time that it was offered to me was when we came home, Jenny, I'm sorry.
Do you want to do a shout out to Jenny and Joe? Just give them a shout out. They'll be watching.
Oh, will they?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you were Jenny and Joe. Oh, I see.
Say for Jenny and Joe.
All right. Hi, Jenny. Oh, God. Am I all right to say this? Yes, the only time was the fact that we went to a party with Jenny down to Surrey. And we went to this party in the afternoon. We met up, beautiful pubs, having a drink outside, really nice down there. And we got invited. There were friends of Jen's. And there we were, all, quite a few, just sat in the corner, nicely chatting away, wherever they were going on.
With the wacky backy?
With the wacky backy. Well, I don't think they called it that then.
I don't think anybody does, just you.
Oh, is it? I thought it was a word I picked up.
No, you made that up.
Oh, God. So then they were offering, that's the time I was offered drugs.
And what did you say? No?
Oh, yeah, I said no. I had a glass of wine. There was wine there, everybody. It was really lovely. A nice party.
So when did the modelling start then? When did you start doing the modelling?
That was before that.
Was it?
While I was waiting, for jobs and auditions and stuff. I just started to do modelling for a Manchester agency.
Yeah.
Well, so I used to do that when I came home as well.
But that wasn't your love modelling, was it?
Not particularly, no.
It just kind of served
Not
a purpose.
really. Yeah, oh, yeah.
Getting your name out there.
And also it meant when I actually started to live in Barcelona, that I could work. If I wasn't dancing, then I could do some modelling and photographic work. You've got a few pictures, haven't you? Yeah.
So how long were you in Barcelona for? How long did you live in Barcelona for?
About 5 years.
And obviously you can speak fluent Spanish now, can't you?
Well, I could then.
Yeah.
And as you know, I still go.
So let's have a look at that moment again.
What?
Let's have a look at that, living in Barcelona for 5 years and you can speak 2 languages, you can speak Spanish.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Well, great.
Yeah, but do you realise how a big a deal that is? Travelling around the world, international, model, dancer,
Not
can speak 2 languages. No, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, super.
Life, what a great life.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Absolutely adored it. Yeah, we had a wonderful time, all 3 of us.
So how did the dancing come to an end then? Obviously you're travelling round thing. Should we talk about that darkness a little bit where...
I had to finish.
Yeah, you had to finish.
It was illness.
Yeah.
As you know.
Because I remember you telling me you got a really big deal offer, but you got ill, didn't you?
Yeah.
Was that working in Japan or something?
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong, right.
Yeah, I should have had... Yeah, I've still got the telegrams.
Have you?
Yeah.
What was that gig? What was it?
It was working for the ballet company that we were working for in Spain.
But wasn't this a solo?
And they offered me the solo.
Do you still think about that?
I get flashes of it, really, because I remember I was in the hospital and Mum and Dad came and they brought this telegram.
Yeah.
And Dad handed it to me and I read it. And then I just cried for 3 weeks. Yeah, it was hard. That was really...
It was kind of what you were working for.
Yeah. I really, really wanted that gig, yeah.
Did Grandad ever tell you that he was proud of you?
I didn't say gig back then.
Did he ever tell you that he was proud of you, Grandad?
No.
What's the reason for that? Just because he kind of still resented you, but...
Not
resented you, but resented what you were doing as an occupation. Did he see that as seedy and what are his friends going to think of it?
Oh, no, he was...
What was his...
That way he was very proud, because he showed me he was proud because he took me out and always to meet new people every time I came home and that kind of thing. But, I mean, nobody believed that he'd fancy me being able to go.
Be able to.
All that way. But
how did he let you go? Knowing that, what I know of
I think that he thought that if I did that, he wouldn't be involved he more or less took the responsibility away from himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Therefore, he allowed me to go to ballet school. But he did come with me and see what it was like, introduced it to everyone.
He's a funny one, weren't he? I mean, I look at my life and I look at Grandad, I look at my dad and stuff like that, and I want to be the opposite of that.
Yeah, thank you. Good.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I'm glad.
I mean, I've told you this one before, but like, I've been kind of going on this sort of like sorting out this inner child thing going on with me at the minute and just having a look at, because, you know, I thought trauma was attached to someone getting raped or death or something like that. But obviously, what I think one thing that's probably given me, because I'm always wanting control over things, and I don't think it's a good trait sometimes. It's got me to where I am, but sometimes I need to relinquish control. And I think one of the things is, I've told you this before, that I remember sitting in the back of the car and then grabbing hold of your head and smashing it into the window. And I think in that moment, fuck, I'm doing a lot of crying at the minute. Oh, come on. I couldn't do anything, and it was out of my control. And I feel that moments like that have now kind of, in my grown-up thing, made me try to control everything. Do you know what I mean? Can you remember that moment? Or just, I mean, that's just one of them, Mum. But I'm just like, you know, not that I'm thanking him for it, but I'm kind of thanking him for the way he is, because he's made me the person I am, because I want to be the fucking opposite of that cunt. I know. I couldn't help myself.
Oh, no? Gosh.
I know, but it is something that I think about, Mum. Because it were awful. Awful. But I don't want to be that man.
Oh, you're not that man.
No, I know I'm not.
I wouldn't be. You can't be that man. It was a dreadful time for me. And, but you were both so fantastic. But looking after me, I'll never forget. Because it really did affect me, and it made me ill sometimes. And I remember I was on the bed, and you both came in and decided that you would tell some jokes to make me feel better. So Grandma said, I know, because she bought them a book at Christmas, 100 jokes. So you started at the beginning and you went through it between you. You said you tried to make them funnier, you know, make all funny faces. And I felt so dreadful. But I had to sit there through it. Oh, gosh. It was so funny, but so wonderful that you were trying to, you know, make it okay.
Yeah. I just...
But I was able to cope. I'm glad you told me that story. You told me that story not long ago, actually. And that's the first time. So I'm glad I knew about that already, or else I would have been really in bits. But yeah, that made it bad on my life because of the type of life I'd had before.
Yeah.
I just became a possession.
Yeah.
And that was it. I was just a possession. It was terrible.
Yeah.
So he spoiled it all when it was, you know, I was still enjoying it because, you know, my friends, my family were only too pleased to know about it. But anyway, it's all over now.
It is, fine. You know, I didn't really want to give him any airtime, to be honest, but I think it's important.
But never mind, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think
No, I'm
with
surprised
that
you
nature
brought it
of like, you know, having the strict upbringing, then you've had this freedom, and then go back to somebody who's strict again. You know what I mean? It's just what a roller coaster like kind of you've been on.
Yeah, that's exactly. Put it right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had that freedom, which was wonderful.
Yeah.
It really was. After having such a hard time at home.
Is that strictness with my granddad helped within the ballet school? Because obviously, you know, even though you are free, the strictness, you know,
No,
are you
part of
potentially
it.
harder than the other girls that are there because you've kind of...
Well, I was more able to cope with that because they didn't have to cope with that.
Yeah.
But I was lucky because what would happen is because several of them lived within maybe an hour's drive or 2 hours drive there. So they would perhaps go home for the weekend and they would ask me if I'd like to go and stay with them. So I had the pleasure then of going to really nice houses, not a house where the loo is down the backyard and all this kind of thing. They had really nice houses with inside loos and, you know, really nice kitchens and things. It was that was another side to life that I had not seen.
What's been the most proud moment of your life? What's the one thing that you're most proud of about yourself? Yeah, I didn't think I was going to ask that question. It just like came to me. I was like, I think it's just because of you're not. You know, I've got that quote on my wall and it says, look, you know, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you're going to miss it. Ferris Bueller. Yeah.
Wow.
I've just wondered, you know, going through this and you not picking out them points, is there something that you've been particularly proud of about yourself that you've done, that you kind of look back and kind of go...
Well, I mean, I was very proud of the dancing and what we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but very much so. But to me, it was just what I did, and I just thought I was very lucky, you know, to have been guided by my ballet teacher from Oldham, you know, sent me in that direction, and then as you meet people through life and they take you somewhere, but then unfortunately, when I came back home, I went in another direction, and I should have stayed where I was. I took the wrong turning. When you come to these decisions in life.
So what was the decision?
To stay in Oldham.
Yeah.
And I realised I couldn't understand that my two friends will ask me, they still do, why on earth did you not stay? Why did you go home? Or why did you not go back?
And what is the answer? What was the answer back then, and what was the...
Then,
now?
Because I met someone.
Yeah.
I met your dad.
Yeah.
But I knew the day I married him, unfortunately.
The day?
Yeah.
You were just like, fuck.
Yeah. I think I even thought that word.
Yeah. A lot of people think I get the swearing from you, but that's actually the opposite, isn't it?
It is.
Yes.
You've been telling everybody it was me.
Yeah. I need to blame it on somebody. I don't know where it's come from. I call it Tim Retz.
Yeah, right, yeah. Well, Auntie Dorothy didn't do too bad,
true.
and Auntie Moira did having lived in London, that was the time they used to say.
Let's just give him some more airtime. I don't care.
All right. Who?
We've not talked about this. So,
What?
on the day you got married,
That's
how
right.
did you know?
It's because he was just so possessive at the time. It was like he bullied me into getting married, even then. and I let myself. And I knew at the wedding, I swear to you, I stood at that altar and I started to cry. And I cried and cried all through the ceremony, all through the... And I should have stopped and, done a dramatic run. And I don't know, for hours, I just couldn't stop. And trembling, and I've never said it out loud before. Horrible. So that was the beginning of the rest of my chunk of that life.
Yeah.
But I made it good. I knew I'd be a good wife, and I was a very good wife. But it just couldn't work because he would just drag me down so far, and apart from all the rest of it, which I don't want to talk about.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's I can't remember when it was, but me and our kid went to his funeral and just stood at the back, and then all these people just started. They just got up and started talking about him. And I think we were there just to kind of, do we use the word forgive? I don't know, I don't think it ever, but I just kind of put it to rest and just kind of
that's why I said, I told you about it.
Yeah.
And I said, so it's up to you.
Yeah.
And I wanted you to go, but it was up to you, if you remember.
Yeah.
And you went. I don't know whether it served its purpose. Did it put it to rest, do you think?
Not sure. I think so. There is parts of me, look, and I'm trying to work on this sort of in shower and stuff, and there's parts back then that I need to kind of figure out and stuff and kind of get over, and this control thing's a big one for me. There's things that out of my control back then that
Yeah, you didn't like that, no.
Yeah.
Things been out, even when
but
you were
cool,
younger.
I'm aware of it, and I'm working on it, and I'm like talking about it, and I'm crying about it, and you know what I mean. I'm all right. I'm not bottling up inside.
But you're not being a bully with it.
I'm not a bully with it. But like, if someone starts taking a picture, I'm like, look, listen, let me do that composition because the composition's wrong. I need to get. You know what I mean?
Well, that's.
Yeah, no. That's the control I'm talking about.
Control is a different thing.
Yeah.
I think.
Control of all the moves. It's like me and Gaz talk about, when we first started out, Gaz was working in my shadow quite a lot because I couldn't relinquish control and let him do his thing.
Yeah.
That's the control I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It kind of got, it'd be fine just how Gaz does it. Gaz needs to find his way, and he does now. He doesn't need me. But in order for me to do that, I've had to relinquish control.
Yes, I can understand that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Not control that we're talking about, the narcissistic, I want to get my own way. I've never had that.
No.
But there is a control side of me.
Yeah,
I'm not, it's not my...
But I think it's only because you know what you want from that particular person.
Yeah.
Or
for them.
For anyone that works for you.
Yeah.
I think you would want that, and then you are able to let go then and give them, play them to their own strengths.
Yeah, I told you this before, and Gaz went and did that talk at the BFA in Birmingham, and I remember the story about moving into your little box bedroom. Forgot about the bloody thing, and it hit me, and I'm just started crying again. I've done so much crying recently. It's good crying. It's like getting out.
I'm really
surprised. Can you remember that time?
I can. But it was. You were in that. I could see that little room. In fact, no, it's not in here, is it? That table.
Yeah.
That table that you got.
With Buster's print on the top of it.
Buster's print on all over your desk. Yeah, and Mum. And then I'd go in and remember Mr. Mole?
Yeah.
It was one of your first clients, wasn't it?
Mr. Moleman.
Mr. Mole. And I think days you get, what do you think about this? What do you think? I thought, is he testing me, or did you want a little bit of, yeah, that's good. You know, because I was quite good at.
Yeah, you were, Mum.
I?
Yeah, 1,000,000%. You're giving me.
And learning.
Yeah.
Well, so.
I just had no one else to bounce off.
No,
I was on my own.
That was it. Bouncing.
I was literally on my own.
Yeah, you were.
Friends.
Yeah,
None.
You cut everyone off. You're buckling down to you doing it yourself. And one client after another, but I just remember Mr. Mole. It sounded so funny. All things.
Yeah, because I remember having that flat, and then I remember the one in Mosley.
Yeah.
Remember the one in Liverpool that I had? Yeah.
Well, I didn't go there, but.
Ridiculous, wasn't it? And then the one in Manchester. Just.
Yeah, I went there.
Yeah.
To clean. I think. Oh no,
No, because I took you out, didn't I? I took you out to Sparrows.
God.
Yeah.
He got me drunk, by the way, girls.
You know, you got yourself drunk. And then obviously.
Well, I didn't pay for it. You told that chap in Japanese, and it was my birthday.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that as well.
Yeah, it was my birthday.
So I went from there, and then went to Mosley, and then rang up the agency that I was working for, said I'm not coming back again because I want to start up on my own. I'm not really keen on that. Realised that my name wasn't as big as I thought. My ego got in the way, and wasn't getting much clients. And then that's when I gave.
Well, I think you were asking for too much too soon, weren't you?
Yeah.
Do you remember when you went to the races? You did a big thing at the races for that company. Where you got those photos.
Yeah.
You worked really hard on that project.
Yeah.
And I think
so much I've forgotten.
Yeah, you poured your heart and soul into that.
Yeah. I just remember starting off and I'm just doing service for service. You're kind of questioning me, you know, you need to get the money in and stuff. Do you remember when I got my first big client? I went to the petrol station, didn't have enough money, and I put the petrol in. I drove off. Did I tell you that story?
Yes.
I went back and paid afterwards. But it's just these moments that I keep remembering and kind of going.
Yeah. Well, they were all part of it, weren't they?
Yeah. But I couldn't have done it without you. And that's when I got the stage.
Well.
I just let you go now.
I didn't realise we were in therapy.
I didn't. But it's just like every time I talk about it, God, it was so hard and lonely, Mum. So lonely.
But you're not anymore.
Just something inside me just think that I wanted to be fulfilled and have a meaningful life, and the sacrifice I had to make and be on my own and get rid of all the toxic bullshit around me, and fuck me, it's hard. But you know what I mean? You get to this point, and obviously it's amazing people are working around me, and I'm just like, wow, I'm really proud of myself. You know, there's points I couldn't look at myself in. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror.
No, I can imagine.
I'm just like, I don't know who's looking back at me, just like selling yourself out. And there's so many times I put pleasure before my purpose. But once I put my purpose before my pleasure, I look in the mirror now and I'm just so proud of myself.
Good.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? It's like a massive part. It's like you believing in me, supporting me. I didn't know it was going to go like this.
Hallelujah.
So I kind of wanted this to just, you know, I'm all right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do, darling.
Fucking hell. I've been through some shit, haven't we?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I mean, you more than me, to be honest. But, you know, I mean, what we were saying in the car before, it's just like, you look so happy, and what's it, Mum? It's like the weight's been lifted off your shoulders, everything you've been through.
I know, it's
wonderful. It's like you've done a low carb thing, you know what I mean? You've lost loads of weight, you're doing your exercises and stuff.
And my heart.
And your heart, it's just like...
I know, it's good.
Yeah. Should we wrap it up there? I don't think I can handle it all.
No. I mean, I don't mean no. I can't handle it anymore. No, I think we've covered quite a bit.
So, I'd say follow my mum on social media, but she's not on social media. So, thank you so much, everybody, for listening. Really appreciate it. This is our 50th. Many, many more to come.
Yeah, my 50th birthday.
Goodbye, everybody. Bye.